You know, I mean, sometimes the test is just, can it go? Like, if we take the scene out, does the film still make sense? If it does, you should think hard about taking it out.
Poor Jojo. What's wrong, little man?
Hi, Adolf.
Want to tell me about that rabbit incident? What was all that about?
They wanted me to kill it. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Don't worry about it. I couldn't care less.
But now they call me a scared rabbit.
Let them say whatever they want. People used to say a lot of nasty things about me. Oh, this guy's a lunatic. Oh, look at that psycho. He's gonna get us all killed.
I kind of came to editing sideways. I was working as a promo director, making trailers and title sequences and little spots for broadcasters in New Zealand. And then not long after that, I met Taika. And we kind of hit it off and really enjoyed the process. And that's when we started working together as director and editor. And he'd been talking about the project for a long time, but I didn't read the script until much, much later. So it just seemed like this kind of preposterous, audacious idea to me until I read the script. I saw the world through Jojo's eyes, you know, has this very kind of naive, I want to say innocent sensibility, even though he's a fanatic and he's kind of we would call him maybe a radical these days. The flights of fancy of this young boy's imagination, you know, fueled and corrupted by all this propaganda that he's been fed. And that's kind of what I connected to first. And then the relationship between Jojo and Elsa, which really becomes the heart of the film. It's sort of a child's sensibility that underpins everything. So every decision you make in terms of the kind of humour that we use sometimes, there's a sort of absurdism to it that is born out of, because Hitler, imaginary Hitler, as played by Taika, is a figment of Jojo's imagination. He comes out kind of scrambled sometimes, and he tracks how Jojo's thinking about the world around him. So he starts off as this very encouraging force, but he then gets increasingly jealous and at times kind of undercuts Jojo. So that kind of resonated with me because I think, you know, not all of our inner voices are always kind. They don't always tell us what we want to hear. Tone was a kind of tightrope walk throughout. We knew that we had to establish humour up front because humour, you know, it's an integral part of Taika's filmmaking, but it's also integral to this film, to re-engaging people with the subject matter. It kind of opens a door for people and loosens them up and allows them to think about things in different ways. So we always knew that humour was important, but we had to give people permission to laugh. And from there it was a sort of a slow transition through the 3 acts of the movie from quite high comedy into a really quite heartfelt emotional drama by the end. But it was a constant balancing act all the way through the edit. We were constantly recalibrating, taking jokes out, adding jokes back in, how much humour was too much, how much darkness was too dark. We started mining even from before the first day of principal photography. I was combing through hours and hours and hours of archive footage. We didn't want to overplay Adolf himself, the real Adolf Hitler. It was kind of jarring against Taika's imaginary Hitler, so we suggested him mostly. You know, you see a lot of the back of his head. We had all the material if we'd wanted to make just a straight-up comedy that was a gag a minute. But we found that the deeper we got into the story, the more we wanted to just focus on that relationship. But I think probably the thing that I'm happiest with is the tone of the movie and the kind of emotional charge that people seem to leave the theatre with. So every time I watch it with a big crowd, it's an amazing feeling at the end of the movie, and I think that was something we always had our eyes on, and it was sometimes a slow process getting there, but I think we got there. I hope we got there.